Hey, what is going on, everybody? My name is NGS. Thank you so much for clicking on the video, and I just got back from seeing an early showing for what is probably going to be one of the strangest movies to come out this year. And that movie is, of course, you're looking at it right there, Hardcore Henry. Now, like with Zootopia, there's a recent trend when it goes to my movie-going experiences. I've been going into a lot of these films blind, something I typically don't do, mainly because, $13 is really expensive for a movie ticket, and when I want to see a movie, I want to make sure it's going to be worth my experience. But I decided to take a gamble on Hardcore Henry since I saw a couple of preview snippets, really nothing too crazy, and it looked like something that I definitely think would be a lot of fun with friends, something I could take them to enjoy, have a laugh with, and that's what I did. I brought along my boy Latino Nerd and Anthony, and we went and saw Hardcore Henry. Now, before I get into the review, I actually wanted to highlight something that I thought was really cool. I don't know if any other movie theater chains are doing this, but for the Thursday showings for Hardcore Henry, they actually gave out special, I guess you could say, swag. I know I don't like using that word, but they gave out this right here, which is a prequel comic for the movie, which I'll get onto later, and something that, me being a huge collector of movie memorabilia, is going to be a welcome addition to my shelf. This is an exclusive collectible ticket for Hardcore Henry. It has the movie theater that you attended the movie at, and it's also individually numbered. So this is ticket 2 out of 300. My boy Latino Nerd had ticket 1. So I thought that this was pretty sweet. But again, more on this later. Let's talk about Hardcore Henry. If you guys are going to this movie blind, I recommend checking out the trailer, because the trailer is really going to make or break your overall enjoyment of the movie. I will say this. If you liked what you saw in the trailer for Hardcore Henry, if you liked this style of filmmaking, then go check out this movie. I think you are not going to be disappointed. I will say this, though. This movie is going to be very divisive for a lot of people. I guarantee you that this movie is probably going to get trashed on critic review sites, and just in general, most people are probably not going to like this, because this movie, basically what it's selling itself on is the fact that it's a first-person gun shootout. That's basically what this movie is. If you're taking something like a big video game, Call of Duty, Battlefield, really, just over-exaggerated first-person shooters with crazy violence, the best way I could describe this game is it's basically Bulletstorm, the video game from People Can Fly. I believe that was People Can Fly, right? It's basically Bulletstorm put into a 2-hour film, and you take out all the swearing. That's basically what this movie is. It's just so hard to explain without getting into spoilers, but I'm gonna save that for later on in the video. So the entire premise of this movie is essentially there's this dude named Henry, and he wakes up basically as a paraplegic. This dude does not know what happened to him. He's lost his memory. All he knows is that he has a wife, and he's getting new limbs added to his body. So basically, he's kind of, I don't know what the term really is, a cyborg. We'll just go with that for this movie. And throughout the film, it's basically him trying to regain his memories to just figure out what in the world happened to him while people are trying to gun him down. It's a very, very simple movie, very simple premise. And for those going into this movie expecting this grandiose story of love and betrayal and so many twists and turns and witty dialogue and character interactions, you might be disappointed, because this movie, it knows what it wants to be. It's selling itself on the fact that, hey, this is an over-the-top, first-person point of view gun shootout. And that's what the movie really excels at. If you love those type of movies, if you love those really awesome popcorn flick action movies where they really don't have a lot going on in them, but they're really great for the action and the violence. Oh my God, the violence in this movie, we'll get onto that later. You're going to enjoy Hardcore Henry. But if you're going to this movie expecting that this is going to change the game, change the cinema landscape for action movies all around, don't, because it's not going to. And I think you're going to get disappointed for that. It's a very simple movie. It follows very, very, I don't even want to say cliched, because they work for this film. Like, the things you see in this movie, it sounds very simple on paper. but they work for the movie. It's not like it's a bad thing that it's kind of play by the book, but it's the way that it's done that keeps it fresh. And that's what I think this movie really lends itself to, is the fact that it is in first person mode. And you guys know this, when you have movies that are in first person, things like found footage, stuff like that, it can get old really, really quickly. Taking found footage, for example, there's really so little they can do with that genre. I mean, you have a couple of interesting things here and there, but more often than not, they usually devolve into a crap fest like Paranormal Activity, or just getting ridiculous out of this world like Chronicle. This movie is told from Henry's perspective, so you don't have to worry about the fact that, oh, somebody's holding a camera. Are they going to be able to capture this footage? Let's just use telekinesis to grab all the iPads and phones and swirl it around to create a cinematic fight. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Chronicle. But it's told from Henry's perspective, and for the entire movie, actually, you are basically seeing through Henry, because Henry, he's lost his memory, and he also cannot speak, and it's done really clever in this movie. It's basically like they have to turn him on, the fact that he's a cyborg, so they attach his limbs to him, which is all stuff you see in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. They attach his limbs to him, they turn on his brain, and the last thing you have to do is turn on the voice, but coincidentally they don't get a chance to in the film before, shit hits the fan. So the fact that it's told from this perspective is really cool, because you don't have to worry about having the regular Joe Schmo generic action badass. You, for the most part, are in the experience. You are experiencing this with Henry, and the movie never lets up. It never skips a beat. It is just non-stop action for 2 hours straight, and it is done beautifully. Like I said, if you love those over-the-top action films, like sequences from a video game, if you're a video game lover, you are going to find so much enjoyment in Hardcore Henry, because this is essentially the stuff you play in a video game. There are times where I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, this would be awesome as a video game, because the action scenes are handled very well. It does not skimp out on the violence. It doesn't skimp out on the gore. The way Henry interacts with these people and kills folks is something that you would see in a video game. And getting into some of the spoiler stuff, just for a little bit, if you are a fan of the Left 4 Dead video game franchise, particularly the No Mercy campaign, which is, I believe, the first campaign in Left 4 Dead, the final sequence, the final showdown on the top of the roof, that scene in particular is recreated in a very awesome way in this film. It's on a rooftop. There's like a little section where Henry goes in there and he holds himself out, and even gets to the point where he gets, literally in true video game fashion, 2 adrenaline sticks pumped right in his legs, and he goes God mode. Like, this is the perfect video game style movie. And oh my god, it's just like I'm literally gushing over all this stuff, because this sort of thing, if someone told me that this movie is first person and it's all these action kill shots, I probably wouldn't enjoy it. Just being honest with you, because it more often than not devolves in a gimmick. But it's handled extremely, extremely well. And this entire movie, I believe, was filmed using a GoPro camera. So major kudos and props for that. Like, they just found a way to make these sort of things work. Now, there are some things, though, that kind of do detract from the experience. Like I mentioned, the fact that it's filmed on a GoPro, like, the visual quality, the visual fidelity is not going to be as high as you would expect for movies nowadays. And in some cases, it was out of focus and really disjointed on what you're going to see. Like, the entire experience of movies in first person is still something that needs to really find itself. There were scenes where it kind of you need some adjusting to get used to. If you're a gamer, though, you know what these sequences are like, so you're just easy, like, okay, 5 minutes of this and I go. I can definitely see this movie being a huge hit for people who love stuff like PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. I can see these type of movies being a major success, because it's handled very well if you're going into this with that mindset. And other than that, like I said, you're not really going to be getting anything in the way of a complex story or crazy dialogue or character development. I mean, it's literally just situation-based, scene by scene by scene, it never skips a beat. And that's perfectly fine for what it's going for. I want to give some props to the main star of the movie. I mean, outside of Henry, because he doesn't really talk, you don't really see him. Sharlto Copley right? Copley, I believe that's his name, right? The dude was in District 9. He was in the A-Team reboot movie. You know, he was handled very, very well in this movie. In the trailer, if you saw it, you saw that there was basically him playing multiple different characters. And I'm not going to spoil it because it's a very freaking awesome scene on why there are multiple different variations of him. But just so you know, it's extremely funny every time you see different incarnations of this Jimmy character. But yeah, Hardcore Henry, I mean, that's basically all I have to say about the movie. There's not much else that I can really say that is there. I mean, I'd really be stretching this review out then. It's a great movie if you love mindless action flicks with awesome action scenes, or if you just want to get a nice twist on this particular genre. It's not here to change the game. It's not here to do anything crazy. But if you love these sort of movies, I don't even want to call this a bad movie because it's achieving what it's setting out to do. That doesn't make it a bad movie. You know what I'm saying? Then check out Hardcore Henry. And I will say this though, if you are a person who likes to, if you or anyone else you know are an individual who likes to partake in ingesting certain, taking part in recreational activities, or if you're an individual who likes to get a little tipsy, go see Hardcore Henry while doing that. Not saying I did, because I didn't. I'm a saint. But I think you'll love this a lot more. So yeah, Hardcore Henry. Worth checking out. My name is NGS, signing out. And like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.